Hello children of standard 10. I'm continuing with my first video which I just gave you a few minutes ago on equation of straight lines. So some important questions which you may have a little difficulty in comprehending. So let's see the first one. A straight line mx plus 2y equals c. A straight line mx plus 2y equals c is inclined at 135 degrees to the positive x-axis and y-intercept is 3. Find m and c. Now this is my own question which I am trying to explain. Why? Because I have used the term m and c. So you may think tan of 135 degrees is m, which we use for slope as m, and c is y-intercept. So the answer is very easy. So children will have a tendency to put 3 in place of c, and for m you will put tan 135, which is minus of tan of its supplement, which is minus tan 45, and that's minus 1. Which is completely incorrect. Because here, you know children, m is coefficient of x will only be the slope when y is subject to the formula. And the constant which is written on the right side, mx plus c with the sign is y-intercept. In this question, to trick you, I have used m and c, which you generally take slope as m and c as y-intercept, right? So all m's and c necessarily does not mean slope and y-intercepts. It depends on how that has been, these terms have been used, these alphabets m and c have been used in the equation. Here the y is not subject to formula. So the coefficient of x, which is m, is not the slope. Okay, so therefore, first you write inclination with the positive x-axis is 135 degrees. That means tan of 135 is the slope, right? Let us call that as big M, which is tan of 180 minus 45, which is minus tan 45. Y tan of obtuse angles is minus of tan of its supplement, will be well read or explained in rotational angle in standard 11 mathematics. Okay, so for now you know that tan 120 is minus tan 60 because the other supplementary angle will be 60 degrees. It is reverse direction, you can think that way. So minus tan 60. Okay, tan of 110 will be minus tan 70 degrees. So if the line is making 135 degrees with the positive direction of x-axis, so that is tan 135 is minus of tan of 45 degrees, which is supplement of 135, and that's minus 1. So you know the slope of this line is minus 1 and y-intercept is 3. That means the line is cutting the y-axis at 0, 3, which I explained in my previous video. Now in this question, the same line mx plus 2y equals c is inclined at 135 degrees with a positive x-axis, and it makes a y-intercept of 3 units. Okay, but find m and c. M in this equation is not the slope. C in this equation is not the y-intercept. So how do we do it? So I am rubbing this part because the second question is an interesting one which I am going to tell you. So here in this question I gave you like mx minus 2y equals c. So I asked you what is m and c. So this line slope is given as not this m. Don't write this m now. Slope of this line number 1. Slope of 1 is tan of 135 degrees, which is minus tan 45 degrees, which is minus 1, number 1. So we can write this, because M is already used, you can write capital M. Am I right? And then it is y-intercept. So y-intercept you can write capital C, that is 3. So equation of this line basically becomes y equals minus x plus 3. But it is given in this format. Then how do I do? So you know the equation line slope is minus 1 and y-intercept is 3, will be straight away y equals minus x plus 3. But why am I doing that? So here I got the slope of the line is minus 1, and because tan of 135, and y-intercept, don't write the same C, say a capital C and a capital M, is 3. So equation of the very same line when y is made subject to formula is y equals minus 1 into x plus 3. But it is given in this format. So the one thing you can do is, so you know the slope and you know the y-intercept, make this subject to formula, make y the subject to formula. I am rubbing this because I don't want to rub this question. It's a very interesting question. So you know the slope of this line is minus 1 and y-intercept is given 3. So make y subject to formula instead of comparing and doing it, because this equation, so make y subject to formula mx minus this c is 2y. So m by 2x minus c by 2 is y. Now the slope is m by 2. So the slope of this line is m by 2. So m by 2 equals minus 1. The m is minus 2. How I got minus 1? Is given the inclination is 135 degrees of this line with positive x-axis. So tan of 135 I got as minus tan 45, and the slope now is m by 2 here. And the y-intercept is minus c by 2. So minus c by 2 is 3. So c is minus 6. So the c of this equation is minus 6. So here this is y-intercept of this line. So minus c by 2 is equal to y-intercept is given as 3. So minus c is 6. So c is minus 6. So in this question, the m which is not the slope, its value I got as minus 2. And c which is not the y-intercept, I got as minus 6. Okay, so sometimes why did I give you this? M and C, I have used it in a different manner in this question. But it's again equation of straight lines. So I gave you slope and I gave you y-intercept. So the 90% of the students will have a tendency to write this m, which they think is the slope, because they use m for slope. So they write tan of 135 minus 1. So they write m is minus 1 and c stands for y-intercept. In y equals mx plus c, not in this. But you think c is y-intercept, so you'll put there as 3. So most of the children will give answer as m is minus 1 and c is 3, which is incorrect, children. M and c stand for those coefficients or those numbers only in the equation of a straight line in the form of y equals mx plus c. Then only the coefficient of x is termed as m, because that is the slope, and the constant, the term independent of x, plus c or a minus c, that is the y-intercept. But this is not in y equals mx plus c form. So therefore I make y subject to formula. Coefficient of x I get m by 2, which is tan of 135, which is minus 1. So m is minus 2, right? And similarly I get minus c by 2 as the y-intercept, which is given as 3. So c is minus 6. So be very careful that you do not have a fixed rules that m is slope, c is y-intercept. So this is one example of that. Okay. Now the second one, why I did not rub, because this is a very interesting question. The same type has come in 2 or 3 times in ICSE. Okay, the same type of question has come in ICSE, like this diagram. See here, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is the origin. So you know it's 90. And two lines are given, AD and B, and AC is two straight lines, which are inclined at an angle alpha, which you have to find it. Okay, because it is x-axis, you can find this angle. Okay, this angle, let's suppose whatever the angle is, say theta. This angle theta is the inclination of this line with positive direction of x-axis, and this angle is suppose theta 2 and this is theta 1. These are the two angles, inclination of each of the lines. That is theta 1 is the inclination of straight line AB with positive x-axis. Theta 2 is the inclination of AC with positive x-axis. And that how do you find? By making y subjective formula. You get the slope. Okay, and tan theta 1 is the slope of this line. So to get the angle, okay, now first line, that is root 3x. Root is only on 3 children, not on x, because then it will not be equation of straight line. You should not have such doubts. Is the root on 3 and x, or it is only on 3? Such doubt should not come, because in linear equation the power of x and y should be 1, and if it's root of 3x, power of x becomes half. That is not a straight line. So root is only on 3 and minus, I'll bring the y this side, and minus 6. Then I bring, whether y is this side or that side, that doesn't matter, I told you, is 3y. So I make y subjective formula to get the slope, root 3 by 3x plus 6 by 3. What is root 3 by 3? Is 1 by root 3. How? 3 can be written as root 3 into root 3. So 1 by root 3. Or in division, powers are subtracted, right? 3 to the power of half minus 3 to the, divided by 3 to the power 1 is 3 to the power of half minus is minus half. And 3 to the power minus half is 1 by root 3. Okay? So this equation thereby becomes 1 by root 3x, 1 by root 3x, sorry, x is here, 1 by root 3x plus 2. Now see y subjective formula. So slope of this line is 1 by root 3 and y-intercept is 2. So I asked you in the question, what is OD, what is alpha, what is angle CAD? We come to each one part by part. OD is the y-intercept of the first line ADB. So the OD is y-intercept, and which I got as 2. So this line is cutting the y-axis D. OD is y-intercept of this line. So children, OD is 2. From this equation making y subjective formula, in this equation making y subjective formula, you get slope as 1 by root 3 and y-intercept. I explained to you the meaning of y-intercept in the previous video, and that is 2. So OD is 2 units. So if you just learn y-intercept as C without understanding what it is, such questions, dealing with such questions will become little difficult for you. Okay? So the next one, I got it, root 3. Fine. So tan of theta 1 is 1 by root 3. So tan of which angle is 1 by root 3? So this chapter, you know, this question has a little bit of knowledge of irrational numbers, how to cancel root 3 by 3. It has the knowledge of slopes and inclinations, right? Then how to find from an equation of line slope and y-intercept, meaning of y-intercept. We come back to trigonometry because tan theta 1 is the slope of this line. Let the slope of this line be m1 and let the slope of this line be m2. You cannot use m and n slope of both the lines because slopes are different. So it's different numbers. You cannot use x is 2 and x is 5. You can't say both are x. You can say x1 is 2, x2 is 5, that way. So here you have in this equation, after making y subjective formula, same I'm continuing with equation ADB. So you got tan theta 1 is 1 by root 3 and OD, y-intercept is 2. So OD from the diagram is 2, OD is 2. So this line is cutting the, and what is coordinates of D? 0, 2. Yes? So now rubbing out this, so we found out y equals mx plus c. I am keeping down this. So the first line for ADB, when it is reduced, for ADB, it is y equals 1 by root 3x plus 2. So this is slope, that is say m1, and that is tan of theta 1, and that is 1 by root 3. Tan of which angle is 1 by root 3 in trigonometry? 30 degrees. So tan of 30 degrees. So theta is 1 is 30 degrees. So the concept, so this angle ABC, angle ABC from the figure is 30 degrees. Okay, in the triangle ABC, angle ABC is 30 degrees. Now I will find angle AC, let's say x is x-axis or not, but okay. So here this is theta 2. So this is the inclination of AC with the positive direction of x-axis. Okay, and that's the inclination of the second line AC. Now, so we have to find alpha and we have to find angle CAD, where AD is the altitude. This I have added a little bit to see what do you know the meaning of altitude. There are some simple terms in mathematics, but sometimes we can draw it but we can't explain it. Okay, or we explain it but we cannot show in drawing. Right? So here, now in this line 2x minus 2y is 5. So the second equation, so I'll rub this out. I don't want to rub the figure so that you can copy it. So the second one, AC, for AC is 2x minus 2y is 5. So y subject to formula, let me do your way. Then divide by minus 2, minus also should not be there. That becomes x, and plus 5 divided by minus 2. So y-intercept is minus 2.5 of the second line AC. That means if I continue and I continue, this point is 0 minus 5 by 2. Okay, you can see it. So when I make y subject to formula, I get slope as 1, coefficient of x is 1, and you have y-intercept is minus 5 by 2. This will become minus. So that it will cut here. So 2.5. So if somebody asks you what is this distance, that will be, distance will be 2.5, y-intercept will be minus 2.5. Okay. So here I got, now you know the slope is 1 of this. That means theta 2 is equal to, the slope is 1. So that is tan theta 2. Tan theta 2 is 1. What is slope? Tangent of the inclination. So tan of theta 2 is 1. Tan of which angle is 1? 45 degrees. So therefore theta 2 is 45 degrees. So I got this. Now I repeat, from second line I make y subject to formula. Then coefficient of x is 1. So slope is 1. 1 is tan of theta 2. And tan of which angle is 1? Tan of 45 degrees. So theta 2 is 45. And y-intercept, I'm just explaining to you, is minus 5 by 2. If you produce the line, it will be cut here. And this distance from here to here is 2.5. Distance is 2.5, but y-intercept is minus 2.5 or minus 5 by 2. So knowing this, now let us continue with the question. So I got this answer. So if you see this triangle, this angle I got 30 degrees and this angle I got 45 degrees. Angle ACX. So theta to this angle, I'll rub the equation. You know what the equation. So this angle is, I got 45 degrees. This angle I got as 30 degrees. Exterior angle is sum of opposite interior angles. So 30 plus alpha is 45. So alpha is 15 degrees. So I got alpha. This was most of the, twice it came, and this was the sum. Find the angle between two lines whose equations were given and they were inclined with the x-axis. So they were cutting x-axis. So 15. Or you can also do, this is 135. But this is easier, children. Exterior angle is sum of two opposite interior angles. Or 135. 135 plus 30 plus alpha. A long method is 180. You can still get 15 degrees. Okay. So you are using also exterior angle properties. So sum becomes difficult when there are a lot of topics are applied to a particular question. It is not just finding the equation of straight line passing through 3, 4 and the slope is half or parallel to 2x minus y equals 6. That's all very standard questions. Okay. So you can see how many things I've applied. Trigonometry, properties of geometry, properties of knowing of inclinations, y-intercepts. So OD is y-intercept of this line, which I got 2. Okay, and this is 45, so you got this. The other thing which I added was, what is angle CAD if AD is the altitude of this triangle ABC? So let us see, I'll rub off all this. So let us see, now you understood all this. Now let us see this. So I don't need all this. So here you have AD. So I drop an altitude 90. This is this. So this angle I have to find. So I have to find angle CAD, which I have added. This is my addition of question. Why? Because I want to know whether you know the meaning of altitude. Altitude is the height of the triangle. What's the meaning of height? Distance between vertex and the opposite side. Now children, this is an obtuse angle triangle. This is 135. So here you have only one altitude will be inside the triangle. It has 3 altitudes. So 2 altitudes will be outside the triangle. So here the distance of the vertex A from this base, shortest distance will be this, outside the triangle. The altitude you cannot make like this and say altitude. How can you show an acute angle and say it's 90? Anywhere you join the lines, it will always be acute angle. So 90 has to come outside the triangle. So in obtuse angle triangle, 2 altitudes will be outside the triangle. Only this altitude from C to AB will be inside the triangle. Okay. So from the obtuse angle to the opposite side will be inside. The other 2 from this vertex, it will be outside the triangle. Okay. So this angle, that's very easy because this is 90, this is also 90. 90 plus 30 plus alpha, you got alpha, or this angle, this whole angle. So 90 in triangle, so you have A, this triangle, you have A, D and B. I am finding this angle first. So this is 30 degrees, this is altitude 90, so this will become 60. Sum of angles of a triangle, angle BAD becomes 60, of which this is alpha, which is, so BAD, angle BAD is alpha plus angle CAD, which I have to find. And alpha you got as how much? 15 degrees plus angle CAD is BAD, which is 60. So 45 degrees. Okay, 45 degrees. I don't have to do this much. This I'm just showing you for all students of. But this is if you see this triangle, this was not this triangle. If you see this triangle, children, you can find 45, 90. So this also will be 45. So you don't have to go this roundabout.